Okay, first, before I talk about the game, let me first say, let's not get too carried away. I don't want to rain on the parade, okay? But let's not get too carried away. We shouldn't have been in the position where it went into overtime in the first place. We should there should have been a blowout. There should have been an easy win, but it was still really freaking entertaining. I mean, I get, you want to say it's a bad team. You shouldn't have been like that. I get that. Be critical. That's what I'm acknowledging that first. I'm getting that out of the way first. But it was so entertaining. I mean, you can't not love a game like that. I mean, it's close. They're scrapping for every point. Aaron Holiday, just the fourth quarter is his. From now on, Aaron Holiday, he owns the fourth quarter. That is his quarter from now on. And Anthony Edwards, Miles Turner is he also owns you now because he kind of shut you down on that game winning attempt there. Just saying, with Miles Turner, the box score doesn't tell the whole story. Do I wish he scored a bit more? Yes, he should have scored more. He should have hit his threes. It would have helped us. The game wouldn't have been as close. He should have grabbed a few more rebounds too. But he did perform against a good center. Karl Anthony Towns is possibly an all-star, and he got 4 blocks today, and he played good on the defensive end. So he performed against a good center, so at least that was positive. And again, the box score doesn't tell the whole story. He will sometimes just his presence in there will deter teams from driving inside and taking a more riskier. Well, I mean, it would be risky, but taking a three when he's in the paint is less risky than taking it to him, especially if you're a guard or a forward and he's got a big height advantage. That ball's probably getting swatted. So, but yeah, um, domantas Sabonis, he played amazingly. 34 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. He's an all-star. If Sabonis doesn't make the all-star team, there's going to be a rant video. There's going to be a very long rant video, a very passionate rant video. So, yeah, Sabonis is just, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT from now on. Justin Holiday, he's amazing. He's just freaking amazing. Jeremy Lamb, he's clutch. Amazing. Our bench played decent. Not as good as I might have wanted, but decent. I mean, we got McBuckets back. It's going to take him a bit to get going. But last but certainly not least in this game today, Malcom Brogdan. While he might have shot not the best at times, the end of that game there, he just took over. He took control of the team. Sure, he turned the ball over a few times, but so did Sabonis. I mean, it's going to happen when you're a primary ball handler and you run the offense. But he freaking out. He had a 30-point game. I didn't look at his assists and rebounds, but I imagine his assists and rebounds were pretty solid. And he seems to play decent defense. Sometimes you get nights like Chicago where, well, maybe not Chicago. Sometimes you'll get performances where he scores a lot, but he wasn't that efficient. It doesn't look that good. But then you have nights like tonight where he looks like a freaking all-star. So for those of you who are on the fence on the Malcom Brogdan, is he not an all-star thing? I would go on the he is an all-star because he runs this offense. He has kind of taken the role of leader now. And I think that role fits him. I think he should definitely be the leader of this team. Domantas Sabonis, yes, he hits the big shots. He's the best player on the team by far. But I think Malcom Brogdan is the leader because just hearing him in the post-game interviews, he only talks about his teammates. He doesn't seem to care about himself that much. Who does this remind you of? Before, the injury. Victor Oladipo. So I'm just saying, I think Malcolm Brogdon is the new leader in that locker room, and it fits him. He seems like a guy who would be a good leader, and I think it's working out very well for us. If he can just replicate performances like this, or at least be a bit more efficient, maybe force, well, sometimes he'll force shots and it'll get him back, and he'll play like he did tonight, or sometimes he'll force shots and it won't work and he'll just continue to force shots. So I think what we need to do is we need to find that point where it's going to be difficult, but he needs to find that point where he forces some shots because he's in a bit of a slump that game. And once he passes a certain amount of forced shots, or he reaches this point where he's like, I'm just not getting it, then he maybe needs to stop taking shots until it comes to clutch time. Because clutch time, he performs good. Sometimes. But I think after a certain point, he does need to stop forcing it. But he's playing good. I know some people are like, oh, why don't you have a Malcolm Brogdon jersey? I am saving getting a Malcolm Brogdon jersey for a special occasion. When the Pacers release their City Edition jerseys next year, or if they release any new type of jersey, I want to get a nice Malcolm Brogdon jersey. I want to get a nice Malcolm Brogdon jersey because he's a good player, and I enjoy watching him. So that's why I don't have one yet. It's not because I don't like him. He's an amazing basketball player, and I hope he stays here. So, yeah, we played good tonight. Well, the score might not reflect it, and yes, this is the worst team in the NBA. We played good. It's just they also played good. Our defense, it was solid. Sure, outside of Miles Turner, our defense isn't the best, but they just were making a lot of shots. It's kind of hard to prevent them. They were kind of on a roll tonight. Although I do have a gripe with Karl Anthony Towns right now because, so at the end there, Sabonis did jump into him to draw a foul to try and help us win the game. And then he complains to the ref saying that it's a bad call. When I saw Karl Anthony Towns doing similar things, that is so hypocritical. I'm really getting tired of it. Where these players, they'll do it, and then they'll get mad at other players for doing it, and they'll get mad at the ref for calling it. Bro, they have to call it evenly. So if you want them to call it for you, they're gonna call it for someone else if they do the same thing. There's one, domantas Sabonis. He had his hands straight up in the air, and he didn't touch Karl Anthony Towns, and they called it a shooting foul. You can't criticize Sabonis for that. But that's about it. The refs were not the best, but I'm not going to say that they blew the game for us. And yes, there's that whole thing, Karis LeVert, TJ Warren, they're injured. But when it comes to playing the last team in the NBA, the worst team in the NBA, even having two of our best three-point shooters out shouldn't be an excuse to lose to them. But luckily, we pulled a victory. We pulled out a victory somehow. So we're just built different, I guess. Built to give me many, many a heart attacks. So that's fun. But this was an enjoyable game. I needed this. The Red Wings haven't been playing very well. So it was nice to get an enjoyable game in where I could just enjoy our players playing well. It was fun to watch. So yeah. See you guys Friday when the Red Wings play. For my Pacers people that only watch the Pacers videos, see you guys Saturday when we take on the Rockets. And I think it's been long enough. I can start wearing the Oladipo jersey again, right? Please let me know if I can start wearing my Oladipo jersey again. Because one, that thing's nice. I really like that jersey. And two, I think it's time that we forgive him. He hasn't done... Sure, he hasn't been the best outside of it, saying that we gave up on him. But he hasn't been as bad as Paul George was. So I think we can forgive him. And I think we can, start wearing his jerseys and stuff out in public again. So I think we can start doing that again. At least I'm going to start doing it again. But see you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny. And let's hope I make it to next time.
Love on each other, as in, tell each other they love. I don't know, who the person is, so, the fuck you doing? The fuck you doing? Dumbass. My bad, y'all. That just pissed me off.